Hey everyone. I'm going to talk to you for a second. I'm going off script. I'm just kind of coming off this off the top of my head, so I won't have all my usual catechism and scripture quotes up here. But I want to talk about how people talk about Muslims, Jews, and Christians worshiping the same God, and how it says it in the catechism. And we say that they're the Muslims. They worship the same God, but they just don't have the correct revelation of that. And then other Christians say that Catholics don't know what they're talking about. So let me give you a little visual. I want to introduce you to some people here. I'm going to maybe show this a little closer. That's me, little old me back when I was a little kid. That's my grandma and grandpa. That's Alice and John. And I want to talk about John here because John, like me, was a veteran in the Army. And let's say that this is John. He was in the Army. He served during World War II, and then went on to McDonnell Douglas, where he'd eventually retire. He and Alice had 7 kids, and my mother is the youngest of those 7. And but what if at this age I didn't have fully developed memories yet? I don't remember this picture being taken. Um, but let's say I saw this picture one time as an adult, and someone said, that's me. You know, Catholic veteran. And they point at this guy and they say, "That's Frank. Frank was a NASA engineer, and he was married to Joanne here. And Frank, at NASA, he worked on the rocket boosters and all this stuff. And that's your grandpa. That's your mom's father. That's your mom's father, Frank. Well, that's not true at all, and yet it's also completely true depending on how you're looking at this. That is my mom's father. That is my grandfather. But that's not Frank. That's John. And John didn't work at NASA. He was an Army veteran who went on to McDonnell Douglas. So how does this relate to the Muslim Catholic, the Muslim Christian God thing? Well, Muslims claim they worship the God of Abraham. There is only one God of Abraham. So they're saying they worship the God of Abraham. They go through the line of Ishmael, but they worship the God of Abraham. There is only one God of Abraham. So therefore, they are attempting to worship the one true God. Okay? There's no debate about this. They are just doing it with improper revelation or false revelation. However you want to put it, it's not correct revelation. I don't care what, you know, title you put on their revelation, the lies that they've been taught. But they profess to worship the one true God of Abraham. Therefore, they are worshiping the real God incorrectly, incompletely, false revelation, however you want to word it. But that does not deny the fact that they believe that the God of Abraham, which is the God of Christians, the God of the Jews, the God of Abraham is the God they are attempting to worship. They just have the wrong materials to do so. Okay? So therefore, Muslims, Christians, and Jews all worship the same God. Jews just don't have complete revelation, or they choose to ignore it, however you want to put it. And Muslims have incorrect revelation. But to say that this is my grandfather and his name's Frank, well, he is my grandfather. There's no denying that. And if I grew up calling him Frank because I never knew him, and this was the lie I was told, does not stop making him my grandfather. And so for Muslims to say they worship the God of Abraham, they are worshiping the God of Abraham. They're just doing it with false information. Thank you for watching, Ann. God bless.